We have with us Ingrid, who is the president of the German Chess Federation.
What are your roles and responsibilities as the German chess head?
Okay, so there are quite many different, obviously, roles and responsibilities. This starts with a connection to FIDE, European Chess Union, but also in Germany the DOSB, the sports organization. Of course, it's also about all things, tournaments we are organizing, like for example, we have now the third event in a row in May. In 2 weeks' time, starting at the 15th, we have the German Championships in Munich, which will be a really great event. So all these championships, of course, have to be done. It is important to send our national teams to the events. So it's really many different things where we are responsible to organize chess in Germany, and where we have many different functions.
Yeah, also read about that you recently elected as the president. Like I think you was the first woman to be the president of this since its existence, I guess. How is that like significant to you and to the German chess?
For me, it doesn't make a difference. It's not really important, but I think in general, of course, it's surprising that in such a long time period there was no female president. But the percentage of females playing in Germany is relatively small. We have only 10% of our members are female, so it is less likely. We are not the only sports federation where we have less women in our top positions, but I think in general, sport in Germany is trying and looking to encourage women in all different functionalities in organization, as arbiters, as players, everything.
Yeah. Also, we saw you play in Grenke chess. I think you are a woman international master yourself. How does that help? Coming from a chess player to becoming like the head of the German chess. How does it help in promoting chess and also getting more women in chess as well?
I think it shows you chess in different facets. I was player for many years. I'm also international arbiter, so again a different role where you see it from a different perspective. So from my point of view, it helps you to see chess as a more global thing overall, but I still have to say I learned a lot in the 2 years, because there are aspects of chess where I never had anything to do, like chess collecting, which is also something very interesting, which was far away from me before, or like problem solving. I guess you know that in Germany problem solving is a big topic. We have problem solving newsletter, we have problem solvers contests. So these are aspects where I think if you're a player, you would never see it at all.
Yes, that's actually amazing to see different aspects like problem solving coming into chess. But now here in Bundesliga, we are here. How important is this tournament? I think this is one of the oldest and strongest tournaments, leagues. How important is that to German chess?
The Bundesliga, both Bundesliga, the female Bundesliga itself, are both extremely important. Everybody is participating, not only Germans, a lot of foreign top players are participating as well. This gives a lot of opportunities to players to compete with the strongest opponents possible. It is also a big event, meeting each other, meeting friends. So I think it is really a top event for German chess overall, and having both together makes it even bigger, and also helps that it's more seen in the public, like for example there was TV here, the newspapers writing about it, so I think it's for chess important that we are also seen that we are doing these events.
Yeah, there are a lot of like top players playing, like Magnus. I think here he's played, like Kukesh. I mean, he also played. How does that, like everyone from all over the world come to play chess? How does you think that impacts the chess scene here and in general?
The people love seeing their idols, of course, like Magnus or Nakamura or Vichy or all the players who have already been here. And so people are, especially young players, are impressed. For example, having the opportunity to play in the same hall, watching them playing. So it is something, of course, you know about the Olympiad, with how good such a thing is, and this is, let's say, for the national scene, it's something similar, like the Olympiad is for, let's say, the world scene. So that you are really see each other, watch, and try to be strong, compete. It's really a big thing.
True. I think also this happens like throughout the 24, 25. Hey, what are challenges do you face? Like this is spread out throughout like months. Like, what challenges do you face, like, organizing this?
Of course, you need to have halls which are big enough, which is already a problem. You need an organizing team which is really doing it, and we have it here in Deckendorf with Mr. Grabmeier and his colleagues that they were organizing it. You need to have the funding to do it because it's not for free, and even if the teams pay the players, nevertheless you have to pay for the halls and for everything around it and so on. So it's a factor how much it costs, but I think everybody agrees that if it's possible, it is best to have such a tournament in a central place with everybody together.
Yeah, I was actually about to ask the same question and what you answered. How do teams sustain themselves? Because I think the tournament itself doesn't have any sponsor as such. I think the clubs, get them. What do you think? How the teams can plan better to, sustain for a long
I think
time?
that's the responsibility of each team itself, and you see obviously that there are different financial strengths in the teams. Some have more money, some have less money, but it's really about for them to find their sponsors locally, or people who are interested in chess or whatever. And I think some are more successful, others are struggle more. And of course we have seen impacts by sponsors who are disappearing again. But that is really something which the teams have to do. And normally they grow from lower leagues where it's less cost intensive, but they also already need some money. For example, in the second Bundesliga, of course, you also have to travel and so on, and you have perhaps a strong grandmaster and so on. But it's not the same level like Bundesliga. There's a huge difference between what it costs. But it's up to the teams to get that started.
Yeah, keeping in that mind, how do you see this year's Bundesliga now that's coming to the end? How do you see that?
It was very strong, very interesting. It has changed in the way that before we had most two teams competing, and now we had a few more competing. So it's more for the Bundesliga itself. It's the same as the WIM Bundesliga. There's also more teams now competing. In former years, there was a time when Baden-Baden won every year. This has changed. There are other teams as well, Schwäbisch and Königshofen. So it was a very interesting thing, and I also think everybody thought that this time it would be less struggle to avoid relegation because only 3 teams get relegated. There were 4 teams before, but nevertheless it was a tough fight. You saw it until yesterday, and with the women it's still not.
Yeah, anyone can win actually.
It's still open who will go down. So it was, I think, interesting until the very end, and I think this is always good.
Yeah, it's amazing. Keeping this in mind, what are your ambitions as the head of this and also as a player? Where do you see German chess in next to 5 to 10 years? Where do this league can go?
I think what I would like to have is that we get more females in the federations, that the number of members in the federation is growing. And I think to reach that we need to have more publicity. It has to be seen wider. So we have to find a way how our progress is also seen, such events are seen. For my personal opinion, we have a very strong national team, a very young, strong national team with Vincent, but also Frederick and others. So I really hope that this team will come to places where they have medal chances. We had last year in the European team, you saw that we nearly had a chance to win gold. It was silver at the end. But this should make us stronger, and I hope that this is also encourage our members, that young kids grow with it. And you saw in India how much Vichy influenced Indian chess. I have been in India a few times, and it has really changed over the years.
Definitely.
And I think it would be good if it gets even more popular. It's popular in schools, but it even gets more popular in schools, at universities, and to get more people playing chess also in clubs, in teams, and competing against each other.
Yeah, just last question adding to that. How do you think, what are the steps do you think is required in general in terms of federation, also for the players? What should, to get more younger generation to enter chess, and also women into chess, making it more,
For women, we have now started a project where we really want to look into it. What are the reasons why they stop again? Because you see that in the young age, it's nearly the same. There are much more young girls starting, but they stop more. It seems that they stop more than boys than stop, and we want to look into that and see what we can do, and also talk perhaps more with politics. Can we do something about schools, chess in schools, and so on? That's one piece. The other piece is, I think, we as federation and also our players, our national teams, we have to make sure that we get the maximum publicity possible, and that's something I think some people still have to learn, because chess players sometimes tend to say, okay, I play chess and I don't want to do anything else, but it's more than that. We have to do like other sports people as well. We have to be available for the media, we have to be seen, and only then we get also a wider publicity and also more funding, which goes directly with publicity, obviously.
Yeah, it was pleasure talking to you and hearing to your insights, and all the very best for the German chess and also for the league.